Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. No, I said I was going to put this video on Friday, but some parts arrived today and we finished our Losi. So I want to do a little wrap up video on what we have and what's underneath the hood of quite possibly the best two-wheel drive vintage car we've ever built on this channel. So without much further ado, our Losi is complete. So Losi shocks mount up fine, 12 millimeter 5.0 shocks. I do have to rebuild these, but I got them mocked up and everything worked. So that's great news. The next biggest thing is we got all of our electronics in. So went with our standard electronics in our vintage rides. Oop, I forgot I actually put some Velcro on that. Yep. And we did kind of the typical layout we have on all the cars because that's what everyone wanted to see. So did the ESC on the side. We have our Surplus Rocket 21.5 ready to go. Z3D fan mount with our Surplus Rocket fan mounted up on there. Tried to kind of tuck the wiring in underneath the motor plate. Ran that up behind the motor plate through the shock tower and down. Obviously did all of our 5 millimeter bullets for our battery connection. I did leave them long, A, just for adjustability. B, you can always make them shorter. It's not the funnest task making them longer. So left it like that for just adjustability. And our Protect servo 160 on there with a Losi 22 servo horn that has the correct offset and everything to leave kind of our steering link nice and straight. So just put a lock nut on the back of that as well, just for added security of making sure that does not come off at the worst time. So that's in there. The other thing we did is put our transponder in the very back just to tuck it in, keep that stealthy looking. And then basically our receiver will run up on the side here. So we'll do some wire management and drop the receiver in there when Justin has his receiver ready to go. Obviously did our Team Brood slipper kit. That all worked fine. Got all that set up. 29 tooth pinions. New bearings in our transmission. All that's ready to go. New bearings in our hubs. So definitely did spin a lot quieter than what it was spinning before. So that's good news. And yeah, that's about it. Test fitted a LiPo battery. Surety LiPo battery works. Have some extra foam pads, so I will give some of those to Justin to be able to take this out, adjust, cut some foam pads as he wants to adjust our weight bias, and go from there. The only other thing I have to do is put on chassis protector. So Z3D, also front bumper. That mounted up. Really good as well, so it didn't have to cut anything or do any modification to that. So we'll cut out a chassis protector. We just get a square piece of chassis protector and I will toss it on there. So I have an Avatar or Protec. We'll get that on there to protect the bottom of the chassis and let Justin run this to his delight. But the Losi's done. So what I plan to do is I will put that chassis protector on. I'm gonna get the shocks rebuilt, new oil in them, get a base setting in there, and let Justin take it from there. So a couple races coming up, and hopefully we see that out there. Chambers race, obviously our vintage race that's scheduled for the 11th of this month. So I have 2 sets of rims and slicks. Yellow, I don't know which is faster, yellow wheels or white wheels. Comment below. Let me know what you think. I think it's white, but I know Justin prefers yellow. So we will see. And I know yellow just won the two-wheel drive worlds. And if you looked at the worlds, it behooves you to watch the M main with Mr. Cook running his GP 3D rear motor Masami car. Led every lap of that race until the final corner and finished second. But It was amazing how he was wheeling that thing so well. And it just shows that vintage cars can compete. You get the right setup, you get them dialed in. They're damn near just as competitive. Unless you're at an absolutely high level, right? You're Davey Botta, whatever. Yeah, you're of course going to be faster with a B7. But for us average club guys, the vintage cars are going to be just fine. Spend your money in electronics. I did notice that the nicer electronics get you close to the competition. So get good electronics, get a good battery, and you are off to the vintage world. So yeah, car turned out great. Didn't have to really replace much. The only thing we did do is replace the inner hinge pins, and that actually tightened stuff up pretty significantly. So now the front arms don't have any play, the rear arms don't. Justin, like I said, has always done a good job of taking care of his cars. So there wasn't actually much we even needed to replace. Just updating some big bores on here. Like I said, we'll get those figured out and get this off to him. So I'm hoping to get it to him by Sunday, maybe. Meet up with him Sunday. Get this dropped off. I got all of his box of spares over there. So got his Cactus Classic body and all that. So we're not ruining any of the nostalgia. And we didn't do any permanent change to it. So this car could always be changed back to his Cactus Classic car. So anyway, we're going to get that done. The other thing we're going to work on is no racing this weekend. So I got to do. Freedom is not free. And my concealed weapons permit comes up, and the lovely state of Colorado says, I know you've had your concealed weapons permit for 26 years. Since the day you turned 21, however, we don't think we need you to test your proficiency. So now I got a proficiency test on October 26th. So gonna hit the range this weekend and practice up so I can get that taken care of. Not too worried about it, but more annoying than anything. So the other thing we're going to do is we are going to switch out a bunch of turnbuckles. So I got all the ball studs in. So all the HD ball studs came in that I needed. I got a couple packs of 10s, got some 8mm shorts, and I also got some 12s. So we will get those in there. I wish I would have got some 6s. I don't. Actually, I did get some 6s. Perfect. So we're gonna start switching out ball studs on our. I only need to switch out 2 on the RC10T. I bought most of those for the Durango. I'm hoping I can do the Durango in my B3 with all those ball studs. I also ordered the Dragon Punch hinge pin that they're making for the B3 and T3 with the 5.5mm ball stud on the top. And then what we're going to do is use the RC10 four-wheel drive ends and B7 turnbuckles. I think these B7 turnbuckles will work, but we'll find out. That's what this channel's about. So we will modify that. But for now, man, I think our Losi's there. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the result. Let me know if you're happy with the result, but I really think this thing turned out pretty good, and it went together pretty well. And I'm amazed that I don't know why I should be amazed that new Losi stuff bolts up to the old Losi stuff just fine. So we will, like I said, all I'm going to do now is clean up the shocks, rebuild them, new oil, and let Justin have at it. So he'll be ready to go. I don't know if he'll want the upper wing, but I saw a lot of people running an upper wing at Clash of Champions, and that was a high grip track, and more's a high grip track, even though it is smaller. So we'll see. I did remove all the weight out of it, just to see if we can get the balance right using a lipo and not having to add weight. So trying to make things as light as possible. We will see. But the Losi is done. Like I said, I'll get it to Justin. Hopefully we see it on the track at the 11th for the next vintage race. Coming up quick. So we'll take this weekend off. prep some cars, and we will get this thing finished off to Justin. So he's got a week to kind of prep it. And then we're going to go through our inventory. So I am going to keep the Triangle. Unfortunately, the Tamiya is going to go on eBay. I'm going to let that thing go. I've had fun. It was a great run, Tamiya. Go off and fulfill someone else's dreams. Schumacher is good to go. We love the Shoei. So I'm going to get rid of the B7. I'm determined to get rid of that this weekend. I actually took the 21.5 and put a new 17.5 motor in it because I think it'll sell better with a 17.5. Same with 74. I mean, that thing's ready to go. And I just want to get rid of that thing. And then we'll update the rest of our fleet. But that's going to be a different video. Losi turned out great. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's anything we should change or done different. Or like I said, anyone making accessories that I don't have that I need to get. That's a must-have. Let me know below as well. But like I said, we'll get this back to Justin this weekend. Hope to see it on the vintage race of the 11th. We'll get some video of that running. And obviously with our paint scheme, it'll be easy to identify. And we'll go from there. But again, like, comment, subscribe down below. And we'll see you on the next one.